Everyone, we'll start our lesson. Please, can we look LO4 what we're supposed to learn today lesson and go through the unit specification and LO4, indicative content what we're supposed to learn. So, as you know me, my name is Anjum Satar. Please, if you have any question, drop me email anjum@ukversity.co.uk and we'll start our lesson in 5 minutes, please. Okay, guys, let's look, a few minutes, please. What we're supposed to indicative content of LO4. Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start lesson 4. Today lesson we'll go through our LO4 learning outcome 4, be able to design, monitoring and control mechanism for a project. Uh, Please, anyone, any question? Okay, now we'll start. So indicative content, today lesson will go through grab in the scope of accountability of the project. We'll look around the changing the dependencies of the project. We'll look around the project errors skills. We look around the financial constraint, it's been limitation which we have, in terms of labor, in terms of funding. We can manufacturing in or we can outsource. We can look around all these issues, status in the plan documentation, regular monitoring, meeting, performance, and management. Again, the target, defining the responsibility, accountability, and communication, and we'll look around traceability, audit, and trail, and we'll look around the stages and contingent planning. Okay, these are the key command work to the lesson is evaluate, design, and develop. Thanks for joining. We'll start then. Okay, always good practice when we start any lessons, always reflect, how much we know. During our lesson 1, we discuss what is meant by project management according to PMI, which is Project Management Institute definition. We said the project can be any task, any discipline, any activities will do the project. We discuss about the management. Management is a process of designing an environment to achieve the pre-selected objective. If you're a manager, your target to be achieve the objective. Then we discuss about different approaches of project management. We discuss about PERT, program evaluation review technique. We discuss about the network diagram. We learn about structure of work, and we learn about different, the method of project managing, and we discuss about the communication and we discuss about 7 C's and the importance of communication in the project management and the stakeholder. Today lesson will look around the evaluate the risk factor that might impede completion of the project. What is meant by risk? Risk is mean probability or the chance of happening. And when we have a risk, always in term of the project, you always measure the risk. Risk is mean probability. So contingencies, you should have a contingent plan is a second plan. Like if the supplier will not supply you the material, what my second plan? If we have the conflict, for the sake of example, we have a conflict between China and the Western country, and you're working as a project manager. So if you doing in the project, what will be happen, in that case, you have a second plan where we can look around the contingent plan where we can make it, the second plan for the second supplier. So we have a different. So external circumstances, those are outside of your control, political, economic, social, what are the contingencies, plan your particular type of the material you use, short supply. In case you should mention these risks in the project specification, should also say how likely you think that your occur and what you will do, what happen. If the project sponsor knows from start that you may have to change your method of working, keep in line with the new legislation and increase the budget to pay essential supply, and we can look around happy to accept in the later. We can look around different prescriptive and image-grant approaches of the project management. Rather like a strategy and the theory, there are two basic ways looking at how the project process works. There, the traditional plan approach, one already hinted at the using the words like risk, uncertainty, and images, which we can look around because of the no process can really be fully planned, and the project tend to be fluctuate one way and other way through the life cycle. And we discuss about in the previous lesson project life cycle, finish product life cycle, start as well. So we can look around the flexibility, this demand of the project team. You don't have to be adopt either plan immigrant approach. Much better to use both as they're needed in terms of the interaction. That's which is dynamic approach involve well get it in the diagram as well, which we can look around this. Let's please. So we can conception of the project, review and evaluate a number and monitor the performance according to this phase one and phase four, and we can look on plan the work, manipulate the work plan, and pushing and scheduling and all these phases dynamically. Because as the environment change, you have to change the project plan accordingly, and you have a contingent plan. Let's please we'll look, make assessment of the way you normally run the project in your organization in terms of plan and Immigrant approaches identify the key areas the project management process are area of improvement delivered by more planned approach and area of improvement delivered by more dynamic or immigrant approach. Yes. So we can look around these two approaches. In these approaches we can. Okay, let's please can we quickly watch what is the smart activities of the project, which we can and quite good. Can you spend 5 minutes, please? Click the link and look around this, the project management approach and how these, the company in a health check, being applied. Okay, spend 5 minutes, please. Yeah, so hope you went through. So that's quite good to look around. Yes. And then we can move to the health checkup, the project, which we can look around the risk assessment. The risk is the combination of the probability of the likelihood as well. We can look around the happening and its the consequences or its impact. So a risk assessment of the project, it's the process for identifying the risk. We can look around assessing the level of risk, controlling the risk, and producing what been told or what been said, about the project failure. Risk assessment is very important. So always risk identification. So we have that is quite good, on chapter of the book which we call risk management. And if you say Kaplan is carry on publishing. So if you look that, so I quickly show you. And quite good, to look around Tara and Sarah approach of risk. You can transfer the risk, avoid the risk, assess the risk. Yes. So risk identification, list, risk assessment, prioritize, risk planning, risk avoid, and risk audit. So these are all is good examples, please, to use and mapping the risk. So in your time, it's good to go through that. That will also help you. Okay, so identifying the risk is the number of the different ways you can look around the risk, maybe encounter the project. For example, you can look around the project risk associated different phases of the project, like design risk can be, planning risk can be, and control. You have to stakeholders. If you don't involve, don't listen. What impact on the stakeholders due to the project and resources needed for where will the supply, where we can, and starting pent in your own milestone planning. It's a structure, and each phase, identify the risk, the bearing and mind in the performance and the time and the cost. That's also which we can look around. Okay, for example, we can look around 2008, the experience measure the project risk or engineering or the construction, change in the project scope and the requirement. We can design in the errors and omission, inadequate, define the roles and responsibility that also create the conflict. New technologies face, which we can look around the cost, the time, and performance. And interestingly, they quite a lot in the risk above planning stage. So planning stage is quite crucial. You spend the time, you plan where you are, where you want to go. You have all the data, information, and knowledge, and then you do on the basis of this. Assessing the level of risk. Not all the risks are the same. You have to prioritize them. You can look at in the higher and the most significant risk, like in some company, reputation can be huge risk, because ultimately the future business is linked. They typically evaluate and probability of the risk arising, again the likely impact, which we can look around qualitative, quantitative, and we can look around the factors and the high, medium, and low. We can look around quantitative risk assessment. We can place a high, low, medium. We can prioritize them, and we can maintain the risk register. You can say project, what sort of the risk, what are the probabilities, 0.6, 0.5, whatever, because the probability always lies from 0 to 1. Okay, then we have a 4.2, design the project and measure the monitor and appraise the status of the project proper. Depending on the type and the size of the project, we can look around many type of estimate. With Turner, one of the authors, which gave you an example for the system project, show the sequence of the estimate throughout the project. You can say proposal, budget, functions, control, and tenders. We can look around the feasibilities, appraise the viability to start the system design, appraise these and measure. These are the crucial point as a project manager need to be a note of how the accuracy. Type of the cost can be fixed cost, the cost stay the same. Variable cost, the cost will change. There can be opportunity cost, the labor cost, material cost, and the paint and equipment cost. All these costs need to be and made. And subcontracted, the material and the labor management is overhead and administration. So internal people are allocated and manage the project, which we can finance, fees, taxation, inflation, contingencies, and these are very crucial, which we need to be look around VAT, value added tax, so how much we have. The project management the project management control is very important, an approach of monitoring, assessing, and correcting based on the performance criteria or performance based review that need to be done. Other what do you plan, what you have to, what are the variance can be favorable and adverse, that can be look around, which we can look around the variance, and the young provide the diagram according to which we can look on the plan. We can look around actual result, and then we can compare and we can find the variance is due to the poor estimation or due to the data. And project control system like has the certain features. It is a holistic, it should be monitor and control all the phases of the project. Initial planning, it's ongoing, it should doing regular, a knowledge base. You need to be collect the data and make your communication system data need to be communicate with the stakeholder. The feedback and the feed forward system need to be trigger the action, look the qualities and the processes. You have an audit department, an area of the project control, what should be the scope of the project control, what area you need to be covered, key deliverable the project actually delivers, what said it to be work and being carried out, the quality, the cost, the time, and the risk, which we need to be minimized. And that's, which is ultimately, but some risk is not in your control, political, economic, social factors. So we can look around key deliverable, smart objective, specific, measurable, achievable success criteria, payback period, rate of return. All these can be the method of control. It can be project specification, project proposal, plan, cost and benefit analysis, work, the completed time, the task time, the quality, the cost and productivity. All these, the points we can look around. The cost, the forecast, the time, milestone, and the people are the very important stakeholder, their motivation and satisfaction level. So we can look around the computer equipment, 10 network, PC supporting software, the servers, its cost, and all the training cost, how much will be, other costs, how much will be, what will be the benefit training, tripling mail sort capacity estimated 40,000 a year's ability to sustain, tele sales campaigns 20,000 per year, imposed efficiency, reliability, improve customer services, and improve. So what will be the total benefit is 180,000, and total cost, so we can look around the payback period 0.63. So it means we can cover the money around in 6 months. So we can use NPV, net present value, and NPV is a positive. We accept the project, IAR, internal rate of return between two, where NPV, project probability index, or sensitivity index, always what are the chances of success and what are the probabilities. We can look around the NPV, payback period, payback shorter is the better. And on the basis of this, we can look around. So that's always, each method of appraisal, we have its own advantages and disadvantages. So when we're looking the payback, easy to understand what you invest, how long will take you to cover it, but it won't consider the value of money. It does not consider the probability. It does ignore the revenue and the cost. That's, the like you will see how much we are investing, how much we are investing 3,100. The 3,100 we are covering in 3 years. At the end of 3 years, there was still 400 outstanding. Outstanding amount divided by the following year inflow time by 12, because 12 months in a year. We can say this project will take 3 years and 10 months, and that's the way we can. Discounted cash flow is also an appraisal method which will use the real value of money. We can, because the value of money with the passage of time is drop when NPV. So NPV is called net present value method. Consider the time value. Time is in the count both in the finding and the amount of the cash flows. But sometimes it's a difficult when we say time value of money, we are discounting and based on the estimated return. So 20,000 we invest, we are using PV table, which is 1 divided by 1 plus R. If we depreciating by 10%, so it's 10 divided by, so 10 divided by 1.1, uh, sorry, if you do 1 divided by 1.1, then your answer will come 0.909, whatever answer you have, and carry on dividing by 1.1. 1 is in the formula, plus R is a 10% discount rate. So we can say £1 is a £1 in the year, zero, but £1 will drop down to 90 pence, 82 pence, and in 3 years' time, if you're getting 8,000, the 8,000 value is 6,008. If I add it all 45455, so my NPV is 6 plus 5 11 and plus 4 15 and 16,000 some pounds. So that's 20,000 in investment. My NPV is a negative. I not accept the project. ARR is called average rate of return, which is based on the average profit divided by initial investment. So that's, which we can calculate the investment appraisal method. So we have three projects, Handover, Bristol and Carlisle. We investing 1 million, 1 million. 4 million investment, but in 5 years we're getting 5 million. So 5 minus 4 is 1 million is a profit, but that profit 1 million came in 5 years. So 1 divided by 5, average profit is 0.2 million per year. 0.2 divided by 4 times by 100. So average return is a 5%, 5%, and this project is 8%. Each project have, but Carlisle had the higher, but it required more investment. They required 5 million instead. If you have, you can go for Carlisle project based on the appraisal. So we can look around 4 point developing the contingency plan. Contingency means second plan, which we can project documentation is working. The point you have centralized the system of all the project management documentation, including all the project plan specifications, schedule, the cost breakthrough, that which we can the financial, which we can look around the review. That's quite crucial. Finally you come to the part of the project, which we can the purpose of the project final, identify the success and the failure criteria that need to be. That we need to be identify the success and the unsuccess criteria, project final, actual, and the gap forecast. We can look around the reviews. We can look around the issues and the problem in the project, and you have to measure the contingency plan. So let's look this example, please. Let's spend 2 minutes. We have risk identification, risk tracking, risk mitigation, risk assessment, and then you can make second plan. Yes, based on so contingency plan, identify the prioritize the resources. What are the key risks in is the material risk, is the planning risk, is the supply risk, any risk, so those we need to be drop the contingency plan. Our second plan, if that's earlier I gave you example of you getting the raw material from China due to the conflict, and then of course the sanction, and you can't do like wire in Ukraine, and that can be, and we have to be look around the second option, share the plan. You invite the written contingent plan and being approved, and the next step to make everyone organization has the copy and contingent plan. No matter how thorough is not affected, we can revisit the plan, and contingent plan hasn't we can revisit. Yeah, we can look around the contingent plan and risk management project. In the project management, contingent planning is other part of the risk management. Any part of the project know that the plan is only an outline, and sometimes the project is being extended beyond that line. We can look around more managers can, but the risk management, we can look around risk management is about identifying, assessing, and avoiding, but we can look around the aspect of the project and the risk, and we can manage the risk. Please, guys, can we spend 5 minutes to look around the project infrastructure? So if you click that, and we can look around and go through one of the project. Let's spend 5 minutes, please. Okay, guys. So hope you went through the project, this infrastructure through the link. And in the next lesson, we'll go through LO5. Thanks for attending to the lesson, and we'll go through LO5 in the next lesson. Have a nice weekend, and I will speak you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.